Hi guys, this is Yvon Donko, Senior Consultant at CRM Asset Consulting. We are specialized in Microsoft technologies, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, Dynamics 365, and more. In today's video, we'll talk about plugins in Dynamics 365. Okay, and we also talk about custom actions and how to call a custom action from a JavaScript code to pass data to a plugin. So the plugin will perform an action, and this is our scenario. So to be more precise, what we want to achieve is we want to call a custom action from a JavaScript code, and that custom action will retrieve the opportunity ID and pass it to the plugin. The plugin will use that opportunity ID to create a code, okay, a code record from an existing opportunity record. So this is our scenario. So it's quite simple. Let me first show you how it works, and then we'll go through the whole process. I have an opportunity record here, opportunity 1 to 3. When I will click on convert, what I want is, I want the system to create a code from this opportunity containing with corresponding product. You see, I have only one product on this opportunity. I want a code created from this opportunity with the same products attached. Okay, so let us click on convert. It is working, and you will see a message that the code has been well created. Okay, you can see the code is well created. Okay, so this was my list. Let me refresh, and you are able to see the code created from that opportunity record, and the logic is done from the plugin in C#. So it is loading, and you will see I have the same product, okay, on the same unit, the same price per unit, and the quantity. So how have we been able to perform this operation? The first thing is to create the button, okay? So it is now easy to create a button, to add a button on the ribbon, okay? So I'm working on Sales Hub. So you just go on the apps from Power Apps, you edit the Sales Hub app, and then you will have this window open. Then you go on the opportunity, okay? I'm working on the opportunity. So you edit the command bar. You can edit in a new tab, and you will have this open, and you just click on new, you add a command, and you will have the bottom like this, okay? So this is the label. It's basically just the name of the button, okay? I use the icon, this key icon is the web resource icon, and this is the library where this web resource is stored. So now one thing very important is this action, okay? This action, you should select run JavaScript, okay? Then you select the library. The library is just the web resources where you will add your JavaScript code, okay? So this is the web resources. We will go through it in a while. And then you add the name of the function added on the web resource. And also you can add parameters depending on the logic you want to achieve. From here, I just select the primary control. I select the primary control. The primary control represents the context. Okay, the context. So this is simply how the button is added. So now let us go and see the logic of this function on our web resource. So I can easily open like this. Okay, so this is this is my web resource, please. I've created it, and if I click on text editor, I will open the code. Okay, this is the JavaScript code that call the custom action. Okay, so maybe it's better to first see the custom action itself before to come back here. Let me open it. Okay, so this is the custom action. Okay, so to come here is very simple. You just from here you can go on advanced search, then you will select processes. Okay, you have processes, and then when you click on processes, you will be able to create uh, your new custom action. So it's a process. So I give my custom action a name, create code action. Okay, this is a unique name. Unique name is very important because I will use it in the JavaScript logic. So it is process. Okay, so entity I have selected none, but you can also specify the entity if you want. You can specify the opportunity, but the way we call an action which is a specific which is on a specific entity is different, like from the way we call a global action. Okay, so from here is global and the category is action. Now I've added two parameters, so one input parameter and my output parameter also. Okay, so my input parameter is a string variable that will help me to recover the opportunity ID and pass it to the plugin. So the plugin will use it to perform the logic. So I have also added an output parameter. It's not required for this use case or this scenario, but to test it if the plugin respond. Okay, when we click on your button, you can add it just for testing purposes. Okay, now, so this is how the action has been created. Now we can go back on our web resource to see the JavaScript code. Okay, so now I pass the primary control. Remember, on this button, okay, this is my parameter, the primary control. So it is the context. Okay, so let us go back here. So I pass to my function the primary control. Now I need to retrieve several information in order to build my request. Okay, so I store the global context in this variable. I store the server URL, okay, in this variable. So var action name, okay. So this is the name of my action or the process I have created, okay. So if I come here, you see this unique name, okay. I need to mention it in as the action name. Okay, so I also define a form context, okay, variable where which is the primary control. Okay, the primary control passed as parameter of the function. Okay, so now I need to get the opportunity ID. That is the only information I need to pass to my plugin. Okay, so I create a global opportunity ID, okay, which is form context data entity get ID. So when you execute it, you will see the output is something like this, but I need to remove this curly braces, okay. So this is why I need to call the replace function on this variable, okay, to get an output like this, okay. That is a correct opportunity ID. Now I create my input param value and I pass, okay, the opportunity ID. So this is my data, a JSON object, okay. So my input param, remember, when I go back on the action, this is my input param, okay. So it's an input parameter. I pass the opportunity ID to it, okay. So data contain this input param, which is the opportunity ID. Now I need to build the request using XML HTTPS, okay. So you can easily use this constructor to build a request, okay. It is directly incorporated in the browser. So I start my request by calling or specifying the method on the open. So I need to pass the method. I for the purpose of our exercise, we need to pass a post request, okay. I pass the server URL, okay. This is just the URL, post the information to which URL. So this is the URL, okay, and you pass through also. So I continue just to pass the request. It is something standard, okay, with the XML HTTP. So now I have the onReady state, which is a function. Okay, this is to check if the request was well posted and so on. If an issue happened, you will also. So the ready state start by 0. Okay, so if it is at the level of 4, number 4, it means that the action or the request is has performed all the operation from 0 to 4. Now rec on ready state null. So if the stature is 200 or 204, it means that the action is well called, okay, and the request went well. So I can display my message, the code is well created, okay, and I store the result, okay, in JSON pass this response. So when I was starting building working on the scenario, I use this alert, okay. Now it is in comment, but you can remove the comment and see this output parameter. My output parameter is defined in the plugin to see if the plugin reply. So to make sure that the logic is working well. Okay, so if there is an issue, okay, we will go to the else and we display the error message. And now this action is to post the data itself, okay, to the plugin. So this is simply how the JavaScript logic is defined, okay. So the JavaScript will use the input parameter of the custom action to pass the opportunity ID to the plugin, and the plugin will use that opportunity ID to perform the logic. So this is the JavaScript. Now let us move to see the plugin code, which is very, very simple. on VS Code. So, okay, now, of course, it is a plugin. So my class will implement the iPlugin interface. And you already know that we have only one method, okay, the execute method, which always take as parameter the service provider, okay. So in almost all plugins you will see this. We need to retrieve the context, okay. So the context is simple. So when the user will click on the button, we need to identify the environment. What is the entity from where you are clicking on? What is the I mean, all other information related to the context. Okay, so we retrieve it in the context. Now we also need the service, okay, to be able to perform actions like create, update, retrieve multiple, and so on, and even the action execute. Okay, because I need to use the execute, I have also to declare the service. So from here I declare the factory, okay, like this, and then from the factory I can create organization service, passing as parameter the user ID retrieved from the context, okay. So from here I declare a string variable, okay, which take, okay, from here I pass the input param. So this input param is referring to the input parameter from the custom action. And you know, in the JavaScript code, I passed the opportunity ID to the input param. Now, this my input param has this value, okay, the value of the opportunity, okay. It will contain something like this, which represent the opportunity ID from which the user has clicked on, okay. So I retrieve it like as a string. You know, on a custom action, you cannot pass entities and so on. So you can just pass string text, okay. So from the JavaScript, we are also able to retrieve more than just the opportunity ID. And if you want to pass all the data as the input parameter, you can pass it as a JSON object, okay. You collect all the information in the JavaScript, and then you create a JSON object and you pass it to the input parameter. You can also do like this, but since in this scenario I just want to retrieve the opportunity ID, this is why I have just passed the opportunity ID to the my input param. So from here I have the input param, but as a form of string, okay. Since it is like a string, it is not correct for me to perform an action in my plugin. That is why I have used the try pass, okay. So the try pass will basically take the value, the string value of this variable, and transform it to a GUID, okay. So try pass, you pass the string and out GUID, and this is the variable that will contain the past, okay, the past value of the string, which will be a GUID type, okay. So this was just for testing purpose. It's not useful. Now I can create, or I can test on the if condition if my input param is not null, okay. If it's not null, I can add my simple logic in a try catch, okay, in a try catch expression. So I have some code that perform the operation I want. Okay. It's always true that it is also true that since you have the opportunity ID, from the opportunity ID, you can get all other information. You can use a fetch XML, okay? So you go in Dynamics, you use the advanced search, you generate the XML code, and you will replace the double quote by single quote, and you can add this fetch XML to retrieve all the product related to the opportunity, and then you can create the code and add the product on it. But I've just used a simple logic from here, okay, that will help me to create the code from the opportunity. So you declare a variable, generate code from opportunity request, okay. This is, you declare like this, and then column set, you pass the name, custom ID, and opportunity ID is a keyword, and you pass the GUID, which is the opportunity ID. Okay, so this was the code request. You also create a code response, and you will execute. Okay, you will call service.execute. You pass the code request, the code request, and the job will be done. So this line of code, these lines perform the logic. It will take all the product related to the opportunity, and it will create the code and add the product on it. So this is what, and you have a catch, and if there is an error, you will have it here. So this is a simple scenario, and I hope it will help somebody to perform or to realize something in his work. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you next time for another video on plugging in with C#. Thank you.